They say evil doesn't just linger, it waits. It sits in shadows, quiet as a breath, watching. And when the right soul arrives, it moves. In September of 2025, Jonathan Hale, 42, a reclusive American literature professor and widower, sought peace after a year of tragic loss. His wife, Alina, had died in a car crash on a rainy highway, alone in a storm. Jonathan had loved her like air. Her death left his world silent. He took a sabbatical, sold their home in Connecticut, and began searching for a quiet place to write a book about grief. That's when he saw the listing. Historic 1840s colonial estate. Fully intact, remote Vermont countryside. As is, no photos, no inspections. Jonathan didn't care. He bought it the same day. The house stood like a corpse at the edge of the forest massif, sagging, forgotten. Vines coiled around the porch like skeletal hands. The shutters hung askew. Chimneys yawned skyward like broken teeth. The brass nameplate near the gate had been scratched out, but Jonathan found faint letters beneath. Blackwood. The villagers down the road wouldn't speak of it. "It's not safe up there," said the old grocer. But Jonathan chalked it up to superstition. The first night, he unpacked his typewriter and books into the study. It smelled of damp stone, faded perfume, and something he couldn't name, something old. Dust floated like ash in the low, golden light. But in the silence, he heard breathing. At 3:17 a.m., Jonathan awoke to the sound of footsteps, bare, slow, deliberate. He searched the halls. Nothing, but the air smelled different, of rosewater and decay. In the bathroom mirror, for one split second, he saw her, a woman in a funeral dress. Face pale and wet, as if pulled from a river. Eyes black, lips parted in a whisper that echoed inside his skull. "Why did you come back?" Jonathan ran into the woods. He decided he wasn't imagining it. He tore through the house in daylight. In the bedroom floor, he found a hidden compartment, inside which lay a moldy, leather-bound journal. It belonged to Margaret Blackwood, daughter of the house's original owners. Dated 1844 to 1846, he read, "He lied to me, promised to wed, then vanished into the storm. I bled and screamed. The baby never came. They locked me in the attic for months, said I was mad. I whispered to the shadows until they whispered back. I saw the true God in the mirror. He is not made of light. He wears a veil of shadow. He said if I gave him my soul, he would make them pay. I gave it freely. The house heard me, and it remembered." Things changed. Every mirror in the house started showing Margaret's face. Jonathan's late wife, Alina, appeared in his dreams, her mouth sewn shut. Dead crows fell from the sky, and hit the roof at night. The fireplace bled when he burned her journal. A child cried under the floorboards, night after night, whispering, "Help her, be her." And worst of all, he found a painting in the attic, a new one. Behind him, Margaret stood in a veil, her hand on his shoulder. He hadn't posed for it. He hadn't been up there, but the painting was fresh. Jonathan stopped leaving the house. He didn't sleep. His fingernails blackened. His teeth loosened. He found long strands of wet hair in the sink. At one point, he looked outside and saw dozens of people standing in the forest, still, silent, watching. He screamed at them. They didn't move. He blinked, tanned. They were gone. The phone rang once, only once. When he answered it, it was his dead wife's voice, whispering, "She's wearing my face now." He smashed every mirror in the house. That night, he heard Elena's lullaby, coming from inside the walls. Jonathan decided to end it. He climbed into the attic with a can of gasoline. He lit matches, but the flame wouldn't stay. The air grew cold, freezing. Margaret appeared behind him. He screamed, stabbed himself in the leg to stay conscious, and threw himself out the attic window. He survived the fall, but when he crawled back inside, bleeding, he found dozens of old photographs laid out on the floor. Each one was of a man, a woman, a child, all wide-eyed, all terrified, all standing in this same house. At the end of the row was a new photo of Jonathan, his eyes black, a faint smile drawn in blood. Weeks later, locals found the house quiet. Jonathan was gone. On the attic wall was scratched one final message: "She's wearing my soul now." And next to it, the original portrait of Margaret had changed. She now smiled fully, and she was holding hands with Jonathan. The house is boarded up again. But every October, the front door creaks open on its own. If you enter, you'll hear typing. You'll hear lullabies. You'll hear someone calling your name in your dead mother's voice. And if you see a woman in black, don't speak to her, or you'll join her next painting.